Good morning, everyone present here. Thanks to have resource person on time today, 9:30. We also have participants now crossing 195. Thanks for everybody's time. Host is ready. Everybody is ready now. I request host sir to put the sessions slide. As you all know, it is a 5-day online FDP program. It is on photography, media and communication, sponsored by ACT ATAL Academy and hosted by LENDI's Institute of Engineering and Technology. As we have already covered a day's sessions, each day we have 3 sessions. The first session went on with Professor Ramji, Honorable Vice Chancellor B.R. Ambedkar University, who has emphasized the role of ATAL FDPs in implementation of NEP, New Education Policy. Followed by him, we have Sujata Mukherjee ma'am from English and Foreign Languages University, who has spoken about digital media and education during the pandemic. Post to her session in the evening, we had some self-reflections of the participants. Most of the participants spent a valuable time and then shared their experiences and expectations. With regard to their expectations, we have even made here and there changes by sharing their inputs to all the resource persons. And followed by their self-reflections, we had Dr. Krishnavir Abhishek, who made an emotional presentation about the emotional language learning, a study of photography. And now we have our good old friend, a well-wisher, and above all, a philanthropist, and then an interesting, sincere senior journalist, and having a lot of expertise on the educative side too. Sri Sumit Bhattacharjee is there with us. He is going to talk about mass media communication and its importance. And we request the rapporteur, Jyoti ma'am, to take the floor and slowly introduce about Sumit sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Hari sir. Good morning, dignitaries, guests, and delegates. With a great joy, immense execution, I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all the presented here for the Faculty Development Program. I consider a great honor to introduce our speaker today, who is going to talk to us about mass media communication channels and their importance. Our speaker, although having a wonderful journey with the Hindu, the largest newspaper, he is an award-winning professional accountant who has specialized in investigative journalism. He covers a range of fields from politics to crime and industry to general issue. He is a travel enthusiast and likes photography. And I know Sumit sir from the past 12 to 13 years, and also I know he is a great eminent personality. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our guest today. He is none other than Sumit Bhattacharjee, Chief Bureau of the Hindu, Visakhapatnam. Sumit sir, behalf of LENDI and Team English, and from all the participants of this FDP, I welcome you, sir. Please welcome, sir. Hello, Sumit sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Fine. Okay. Good morning to everybody, and thank you, Jyoti, your team English, Hari, for inviting me to this Zoom conference. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is clear.
Pretty clear,
Very
sir.
good, very good. Because this is the new normal they call, and I am not adept to all this technology. Uh, so I have difficulty even handling my smartphone. So this Zoom conference is, it's Greek and Latin to me. Anyway, trying to cope up with it. Um, well, Hari, your choice of topic was something offbeat, I would say, for engineering college. But it's a good thing that you're focused on an area that not many have touched before. Uh, because normally one thing that in today's education, textbook, college, as something that is regarded as the ultimate education, or the education. But I would not say that that's a holistic education. So what you have started a trend, I feel the relevance of media in education is very important. Because in any society, if you see, and first of all, before I get into it, I would like to confess to you that, I'm a journalist, and, I can write something, but, speaking for 1.5 hours is very difficult for me. So I would suggest that I would speak for whatever 30, 40 minutes I can, and the rest I would leave it for your, question answer sessions, because I believe I'm addressing teachers. So never in my life I have addressed teachers, because I'm still a student. And for the first time, I'll be addressing teachers, learned people of the society. And I believe that the country's development, or the formation of a beautiful country, a strong country, depends on the teachers, because they are the ultimate, sculptors of the young minds. Because it is the way you sculpt the mind of the young people, they grow up to become good citizens. Okay, it is audible now, clear? Hello?
Yes, sir. It's audible.
Fine. Okay. So, to begin with, I would say that, in any society, I think education is the most important thing, because that's how a country is shaped, or a society is shaped, and individually shaped. Um, and if you look at a developed country, you will always find, the first thing that comes into mind, that what is the literacy level, what is the level of education. All developed countries have the best system of education. Unless we have a good system of education, I don't think any country would progress or develop the way we see, or way we dream, or way we visualize, or the way we think the country would be. So when it comes to education, I feel that, over my experience of with Hindu, because I was handling a special edition called Education Plus some time back. I'll come to that later. I realized that education being imparted now in our country. Now, of course, there's a new education bill. Things may change. I know whether it is good or bad. That we'll be seeing later. But with the new education system, mm, I feel that some way the holistic view of education is missing, because you have a classroom, you have textbooks, you churn out graduates. Every year we find more than 5 million graduates coming out of the nation, different fields, engineering, arts, commerce, social sciences, fine. But at the end of the day, what we do realize is how many get a job, or how many are able to do well in their life. Probably, as for the statistics goes, it is 20%. Maybe that's around, out of 5 million, a million barely gets to get into a good job. Why is that so? Is the question that comes to one's mind. Is some way are we going wrong, or some way what is happening is not the right way? But that is a different issue to talk about. But why I'm touching on this is, the system that we follow now, I believe, can be said is not holistic. Because a holistic education should be a development of a child in all round. most of the children that I meet, because apart from my journalism career, I sometimes go to teach, interact with students. I like interacting with students. So I interact with students in different colleges, coaching centers. What I realize is that they lack the basic understanding of things. And the lack that, why that lacuna is basic thing is that they lack a perspective. And why do they lack the why do they can't gain the perspective? Many of them, not all. I mean, there are some brilliant people also. Why they lack the perspectives that knowledge. Knowledge, when we talk of knowledge, it is all-round knowledge. It's not the subject matter that you talk of. It's not that somebody is doing, let's say, data analytics. It's not that simply of data analytics. Somebody is doing VLSI design. It's not something about only about VLSI design. Something that a civil engineer, how to build a bridge. He's taught how to build a bridge, no doubt. So computer science engineer is taught what is data analytics, what is Java programming. He's taught, that is taught. But thing is that how can a person be holistic is the perspective surrounding the entire subject. If there is a bridge in civil engineering, how to build a bridge, you have soil engineering, soil testing, a lot of dynamics subject matter in that, pile foundations, everything. But before you get into that technical aspect, you should know why the bridge is necessary, where the bridge is necessary. In our country, how many areas are not connected because due to that there is no bridge or there is no road? How can we know that? That is not taught in the class. Classroom, what you teach is only subject. So what I feel is that, to know this, to give an overall understanding of perspective to the student so that he understand. Like suppose why do we have started the Union Public Service Commission started the IAS or IPS thing. Basic thing, if you talk to an IAS officer, you will understand his perspective is different. He has an overall understanding of different subjects. That's what the government wants, or that's what we want. He understands not only the making of a bridge, but he understands where the bridge is necessary, why it is necessary, and who will benefit. In our tribal region, if you go, we go to Aruku, we go to Paderu we go to Aruku, we go to Paderu for our tours. But do we know that in Aruku region, Paderu in our forest, that we call it agency, Vishaka agency, there are 6,000 villages which are not connected. There's no road, there's no bridges. For one tribal woman, pregnant woman, to come to a local PHC, public health center, he or she has to be carried in a dolly. Dolly in the sense they tied a woman with a bedsheet on a stick and bring her, or walk 20 kilometers. So this is perspective that I see. Don't you think that we need to connect them by road? Don't you think we need to connect them by bridges? So not only knowing the subject of civil engineering, but you should know the perspective of where it is needed, why it is needed. So that is what I say is a holistic education, whether any subject, whether it is social sciences, whether it is accountancy, and most importantly is the trends. If you know you may know the trend in your Java programming or in your programming, but you should know the trend in which country it is being implemented right now, which country demands more of programming, which country demands these professionals. How do we know that? This is where the role of media comes. So I would suggest if the integration of education with media is built in the curriculum, maybe that's where you churn out students with a holistic understanding. You give them a holistic education. You teach them subject because you have the best of teachers, I'm sure. Along with them, you give them a perspective of different, change their understanding. See, earlier days, what was happening? Earlier days in our time, or I would say even Hari is still younger to me, but my parents' times, the education was very limited. It was limited to yes and no answers. Do you know this? Yes. Do you know this? No. But now it is not that. Now the information world is open. And when I say media, it doesn't mean newspaper. It doesn't mean that I'm talking of only Hindu, that you read Hindu. It is information that I'm talking of. Media is nothing but a system or a mechanism to pass information. We pass the information for you to grasp and for you to develop a perspective from the information. When we write an article, we give you the facts. From the facts, you churn out what is necessary for you, and you take this and you build up your understanding on the subject. So the system has changed, education has changed. Now the entire education is all in a cell phone, in a small gadget in your hand. Whether it is social media, whether it is newspaper, whether it is magazine, whether it is television, this part of media should be inculcated in the education system. I don't mind if a classroom session starts in a day with a 20-minute or 10 minutes news clippings. Know about your country. Know about what is happening in the world. Today, to be frank with you, today, earlier nobody cared about, to know about what vaccines do we have. But today we are forced to know and follow when is the vaccine coming. And until we give a perspective in the media, tell information to the people, we don't even know. Today we have learned it only from the media that we need to cover your face, or you need to wear a mask, or need to sanitize your hand, to the media. So what I intend to say is that it would be a suggestive idea that any class, any college should start its classroom session with the media clip, with a 10 minutes news clip, or 10 minutes of news reading from the newspaper. Because I used to go to a coaching institute which used to train students for CAT and GRE, GMAT, this type of things. So as a friend of mine, and he told me that you just come and teach them current affairs. Then I asked him why. That is not there in curriculum. Because they're not preparing for civil services where you need to know about current affairs. Then he said, why most of our students don't get into IIMs? They all score well, but they go and fail in the interview because they don't have perspective. They don't have general knowledge. They don't even know who's the finance minister of the country. They don't know what is the budget. So why will this happen at the level after passing graduation and they come to a coaching center that somebody which is not there in the curriculum are being taught? Because it is not there at the classroom level. It should start from the classroom, from the school level. I still remember in my school when I studied in a school in Vizag, Visakhapatnam called St. Aloysius. So suddenly one day my father, our principal of that time we used to call him father, he announced that every day at the assembly, one person will read the headlines of the newspaper, from a newspaper. I don't know whether it continues, and I don't think that system continues. But till I passed out from the school, it was there. We go to school early in the morning fresh, and then we come to know what is happening around the world. So that's what I said is that, when we talk of, the role of media in education, I feel the role of media in education should be integrated together so that, we build up a system where education and media can play a better role, can churn out better students who have a much more better, because knowledge is ultimate. You may have good knowledge, you may have excellent knowledge in your subject, but you won't be able to use it unless you have the knowledge of the world around you. Unless, yeah. Hari, am I audible?
Sorry, sir, your voice is not audible.
Since when?
No, you are audible, sir. I'm talking about Hari, sir.
Uh-huh. Hari is not audible.
Hari, sir, you are not audible, sir. Sumit, sir, please continue.
Yeah, is it okay?
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. So now when we talk of media, the media is something that, it is not a very old. If you take media into consideration, media is uh, the various forms of media we have evolved over the years. If you take how it evolved, then it maybe sometime around 2nd century BC or 3rd century BC, the first form of media had come. That is, in stone tablets they used to inscribe, and it's nothing but it was something, the mass media, something that that is need to inform people, something that needs to be informed people in a broader way. A huge number of gatherings should come to know about that. So, if you come to the modern media, then it's around 19th century that the first newspaper was published, and then over a period of time it grew. Today, now media is an industry, and every media houses have some programs for education, whether it is right from our national channel of Doordarshan or any other channels, because education has been a prime thought of the media industry, that we should be part of the education system. And we always hope that the education institutes imbibe us, or take us into their fold, so that we can work together. Like for Hindu, we had Hari would be knowing, we had a program called Education Plus, E Plus. I don't know if Jyoti was there that time, but we had a program called E Plus. So that was a program where we was.
That's what, Sumit, I was mentioning. This is our institution to satisfy you. We are really doing the same job, picking newspaper into the classroom. Our newspaper is our textbook. That's kind of an activity that we are carrying it out. Even today, newspaper reading, newspaper interference, or newspaper what you call activity-based learning are very fresh in our laboratory.
Very nice, that's nice. That's nice to hear, Hari. Because I would say newspaper is more current than textbooks, because newspaper every day is updated. Textbook is printed once in a year or twice a year. It could be, editions keep changing, but newspaper is more current than a textbook. That's very nice to hear. This Education Plus program was something like, to build up what we felt that time. Of course, we had a discussion with people like Hari, and before we implemented this program, we realized that of the engineering students who are passing out from the colleges in AP, only 15 to 16% are getting recruited. Rest of are not being recruited. What we realized was communication skill. Basically, then we understood that we need to improve their communication skill. So communication skills comes from confidence. The language is one thing. Newspaper reading is good. I know many people, including some founders of big colleges today, have told me that they've read the Hindu and heard the All India Radio or BBC to improve their English skills. Fine, that is absolutely right. Newspaper is meant to improve, because if I was reading some articles some time back, in Rwanda in Africa, inculcate this program, the Hari, that we are talking a similar thing. Classroom reading of newspaper, not only for students, but for teachers. They felt that teachers' English should be good, so that students learn better English. Because ultimately the teachers will shape the students. So we realized before putting this program into on ground, that English, once you develop the language of English, they will develop confidence. From that confidence, automatically, so newspaper reading, there are three or four good aspects. One is you read newspaper to better your English. You read newspaper to increase your general knowledge and perspectives. Third is it builds up your confidence. And not only that, and Hari would, as he said, we had activity-based learning through newspapers. We had a lot of activities. So that was one program, that very successful program, that from Hindu side we started. Of course, Hindu has always been with education in different ways. We had a couple of books called Survey of Indian Industry, Agriculture, where we focused on specific subjects, Survey of Environment, Indian Environment. Then we had something called Science and Technology section in the Hindu, which I think still comes every weekly once. We have this opportunity section where we talk of management things. So it is generally understood that at least 10% of the newspaper content should relate to education stuff. Not only informing you which area of education is now growing or where the trend is, but educative articles that students can develop in the relevant subjects. So not only that, many newspapers, many news channels have started these programs. After we started it, I mean, we pioneered it to start activity-based newspaper learning in the college. We have something called NIE, newspaper in education. We call it newspaper in education. We implement that in schools. So there's a special edition of students for children, not the normal Hindu that we see every day. There's a special edition for children that is designed specifically so that it interests them. Knowledge is nothing but curiosity. Until we are able to build that the curious mind or the thinking mind in the people, in the students, I think we are not successful in becoming churning out good students. So idea of any teacher or any institution is to build that thinking mind in the student. More the ability to think improves, the curiosity develops. The curiosity develops, he or she tries to learn more on the subject. So that is what we want. So that is how the role of media and education institutions should go together. Build that element of curiosity in the people. Let them think. Now you have info. Now the earlier we for anything we had to go to a library, search for the books, read from the book. It was a tedious affair. But now nothing like that. With this internet or the flow of information highway, information is in our palm top, in our palms. Just click a few buttons and you get the information. So this is if media does not mean newspaper, as I said, not only that we see physical form like newspaper or magazine, but the information through various sources. So that is one aspect that because main function of media is to pass information, give information. Then is another important thing of information that the information that we give should make the students inculcate the civic responsibility. Building the civic responsibility among students is important. Because unless they're responsible citizen, how will they take it out? How will they do it? So if you look at the bigger picture, then if you look the bigger picture, you always suggest that the students should, apart from the subject knowledge, should have knowledge of different areas, different issues, different aspects. Then only one can develop to be a good student. And this is how the teachers should. I would suggest the teachers, as Hari was telling, that the same thing should be replicated in every college. Have a session of newspaper reading. Have a session of news viewing. Have a session of discussion on a subject. Why not? I mean, I would. People say. Yesterday, I was surprised to see a ship was had ran aground near Trinity Park. All must have seen it. And being a citizen of Vizag, ship is not a new thing. If you go to the beach road, you will find hundreds of ships coming up. But was it necessary for 10,000 people going to the park and jostling among people without mask and seeing the ship? Probably a good newspaper, a good discussion on this subject would educate people that this is not the time that we need to rush to a place like that just to see something. We have seen this. You go to the Venkateswara temple or Churchill that on the far end of the city. You can see every 5 minutes a ship passing by. So there should be discussion. You should have a session on I don't know which college have held a session on the new education policy. Which college had a session on the new farm bill? So these are the things you ask anybody. I'm sure 90% of the student would not know what is the farm bill. What are the ingredients of the farm bill? There are 3 components in the farm bill. Forget, they would not know there are 3 components in the farm bill. Why you need to know about the farm bill? Because tomorrow you may join. This is the picture that I was talking about. Was it necessary? See people without mask, without thing going there. So what I'm trying to tell is what you need to do is why people need to know about subjects. Because today if you don't know about your farm bill, how can you do justice to your farmers? Yeah, whether it is good or bad, you should know the farm bill. Yeah, there are some good aspects, some bad aspects. Probably as Hari says, the news. If there is good in it, you have your NSS. Probably the message can be passed on to the farmers. Because for an uneducated farmer, to understand the farm bill is difficult. But probably if you have a session in your college, you discuss about the farm bill, the good, the bad, how to go about it, what is the next step you should take. Your NSS students can take it up. I think Hari sometimes does it, so you take it up. So as I said, newspaper not only gives information, but tries to make you a responsible citizen with all the civic knowledge. Probably 10 students of your college can tell that, man, tomorrow if they know the entire aspect, the gamut, the problems of COVID, how it is spreading. Probably you can spread the message among your other friends. The teacher should start the sessions. Let people know. Let your student know. Let them have a discussion. Pick a subject. Pick a topic pick a topic from the newspaper. Have a 10-minute discussion on it. That what that will happen is, first of all, when you take up it becomes activity based. Normally, when it's activity based, children are excited, or students are excited. Once they're excited, the curiosity develops in them. And I think activity based learning stays in you, because book reading, the memory fades. But activity based learning, I understand, it gets into your memory, gets into the hard drive of your brain, so it stays there for a long time. So once you activity based learning, a newspaper reading, and followed by a discussion on that, will automatically see 10 people will come with 10 views. So what happens next day? One student will always try to beat the other student by showcasing that he has more knowledge or she has more knowledge. To build up this curiosity, build up this enthusiasm among the children. So then what happens is, you are not only improving their communication skills, because when they start, because normally people are shy. You take them an activity, they try to shed their inhibitions and come out, open up. That's what we want. We want the children to come out of the shell. Let them open up. Whatever, do not criticize them. Whatever English they want to speak, let them speak. Slowly they will develop. Once they start reading the newspaper, talking to public speakers, because there are E+ activities, the colleges with which we participated, including LENDI. The first day, children were shy, but after 4 sessions, I found the same children and coming and giving me the welcome speech. This is development. And till date, those children who have passed out are in touch with me through Facebook and WhatsApp. They say that, sir, we have started this and now I'm working in Accenture or Cognizance or somewhere big or TCS. I'm doing well in life. So just rushing through the textbook, have a session. So your language improves, your knowledge improves, your perspectives improve, your overall understanding grows up, You become more human. You know what is needed, what is not needed. You know what is to be done, what is not to be done. And most importantly, you become more responsible citizen. So that's what, the role of newspapers or media, I feel, should be integrated within the education system in whatever way you want. It's not that you need to, you can tailor make your own system. As you know, unfortunately our Education Plus program stopped due to some reason, later reasons. It was not continued for long. I think we did for 4-5 years, and and we used to have a competition year end. We used to have a competition, E Plus Club competition. It was one of the most sought after event. All colleges across the state used to participate. We had different activities, from drama to skits to elocution to debate. So we built it that. So that's how we can build up a thing. My focus on one thing is that, that we need to give a bigger picture to the students. More, not only limit them to the textbook learning. And you can give a bigger picture only if we, we partner together. I'm from the media side, you're from the education side. We partner together. Wholesome activities. As part of the E Plus program, we were also, rather forcing children to read newspapers. We used to dump some newspapers in the college, and I'm sure Hari would remember that we used to have a half-an-hour session where they used to read the newspaper and discuss on the topic. But these are things that,
the best part in it is, Sumit,
yeah.
The best part in it is to collaborate, to communicate, and to compete.
Yes, yes.
The competition is last, and the very essence of E Plus, education plus, and its competition is not actually competition. It is giving an opportunity to have collaboration, have communication, and then competition. So
Correct,
those three stages really made students.
No, that's what is necessary. No, even today, Hari, if you take a overall survey in a classroom in your college, you tell people who read newspaper on a daily basis, you will find 2 or 3 hands going up, not more than that, because that's what I have seen. Ask anybody honestly how many people read newspaper on a daily basis, you will find 2 or 3 hands going up. Keep them aside and test them with others. There may be a brilliant student on the other side, but his perspective will not be bigger than the person on this side who reads a newspaper or goes through a media or a follows a regular media. Because it is not that, as our father of the nation, Gandhiji, has said, literacy is not about education. Even uneducated mother can be more literate than an educated son. That's what we see today also. We are all today in this position because I don't know. Many of our mothers, have come from villages, including my mother, who's not educated to the level that we talk of today. But I would still say that she's more literate than I am. So, what is literacy? It is nothing but, to mean simple words that Gandhiji said, is knowledge. Because my mother has read the Gita or the Upanishads more times. I have not read them so far. She has read them and she has acquired knowledge from that over the period of years. So her perspective or her knowledge is much more than what I have today, probably. So it's not that, you cannot say that education is literacy. I'm not saying that. Gandhiji had said that education cannot be literacy. Literacy is holistic. Education is subject. So to make it holistic, and holistic development of a child is, that's what, in some experimental schools have started today. You'll find all, I find high-tech schools, calling them international schools. They say holistic education. They say holistic education like, some people even teach horse riding. Fine. But I would suggest them that this is not your new concept. A Gurukulam concept way back consists of the same thing. If you go back to the rishis, those back, the ashram schools, they used to say in thousands of years back, from archery to Vedas, all was taught there. So it's not that some people try to tell that, we give holistic education because we also teach horse riding and we have AC classrooms. AC classroom is not the criteria, or AC bus is not the criteria, boss. What is the criteria is what knowledge are you imparting to your students and how you're imparting them and how well they're receiving it. Who is this girl, Hari? Is this topper? Anyway, so that's what
I'm about to share that. I'm about to share that education plus clipping. How we have won it and then what was written there. I'm enthused to share it with you. And there is a poll also coming up about your question. About your session. Shortly, there is a poll also which disturbs your attention. Sorry for that. You can come.
No problem. Hello.
Yeah. Sumit, you can continue now.
Okay. So that's what, Hari, I would say that, So, how are we now placed? Yeah. So this is what I wanted to talk to you and share with you, that that we are always a part of it. The media has always been part of it and will be part of we will partner the education sector, because I believe that to make literate people, both education and media should go together. And we need to produce more literate people than educated people.
Yes.
So, there are, in whatever way, some people say that, talk of social media. That's also, I find it's good. Any healthy discussion on a subject is always good for people.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody calling me? Somebody?
Yeah. Now we definitely have a question and answer session. Paul is on host seat. He'll be taking it forward. Paul, are you ready? If at all anybody who is interested putting a question or interacting with Sumit, you can just raise your hand, take your raise hand option. Paul sir on host table can allow you to unmute yourself, and then you can happily talk to. There are questions even on chat box too. Chat box manager would also come forward sharing.
Yeah, if somebody can monitor it, it'll be fine.
Yeah, they're monitoring. Sure. You sit comfortably there, have some coffee, and then start working with us. Thank you so much. Early in the morning, you're very fresh, and then you have dedicated all your time for us.
The thing is that now things are not looking good, Hari. That is the main issue. That's the back of the mind. That tension, as always, you're still wearing a mask.
We are at workplace now.
Yeah. So this thing is really bothering us behind our back,
Yes.
Somebody.
Sumit sir. Yeah. Someone named Dr. Afaq Ahmad has a question.
Yeah, sure.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have a question. Amid this pandemic situation, how print media is working? Is there any cutting of employees in print media sector also? Kindly let us enlighten.
Yeah, very much, Mr. Ahmad. There are cuttings. There are people who have been removed. There are people who are pays are cut. Thing is not looking very rosy right now, Mr. Ahmad, because media is something that it is the end of the tunnel. Economy does well, media does well, and the entire media, the economy of the media is something like is based on advertising revenue. So your unless the economy is good, company is not good. The first, as you know, the first victim of any advertising, any cut in the budget is advertising revenue. So with advertising being cut, economy not doing well, so there is a huge impact on the media, and a lot of people have been removed, sacked. Every media house is facing an almost a pay cut for employees who are serving are facing pay cuts. So these are their part of it. Benefits have been taken off. Right now, of course, these are temporary phase, I believe. Once things settle down, maybe we'll improve. Is it okay, Mr. Ahmed? Hello.
Yes, sir. He asked this question in the chat box.
Yeah, Ahmed is also there. Ahmed is also there. If you can unmute him or send an unmute option for him. Paul, I think there are 3 raised hands.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Ahmed, are you there?
Just now I've received calls from Hyderabad. There is a power outage, and then there are a lot of issues with the connectivity. So most of them missed it, but of course, Ahmed is there. And we have another
Rishi Malik.
Rishi Manik Das.
Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Mr. Sumit. Bhattacharjee.
Morning.
Sir, I have 2 questions. First, how you see the future of print media after this the sudden change of an era? Because suddenly, with like the span of 5 to 7 months, we shifted to digitally platforms. How you see the future of print media?
With digital is a challenge, Mr. Rishi. We have a lot of because we are also going digital. Every newspaper house, every media house is going digital because digital is the future. But future of print is still there. I'm sure right now, for the next at least 2 decades, I don't see a big threat to the print media. But it is changing. That's the reason even we are changing. We are focusing more toward digital because one fine day, ultimately what is needed is information, whether it is to print or digital. So it's going to, information is going to stay, media also is going to stay. But as far as the hard copy print level may come down.
That's what
there is the drop already. So in certain areas there is a drop. Certain areas there is a pickup because still a lot of people write. See, it is nothing like reading a book in the Kindle and buying a book. And a lot of people still write to see the smell of the newspaper, get the smell, feel of the newspaper, get the smell of a new book and read it. And probably you would do it, I would do it. So I think everything is a cycle, Mr. Rishi. See, for me, I feel everything is, you had the earlier bell bottoms and then narrow cut. Now it is again coming back to bell bottoms.
Yeah, exactly.
So everything is a cycle. So maybe print will fade, the hard print will fade and come back again after some time. But I hope by the time we still have the trees to feed us with the newsprints, unless they're all the trees in the earth is cut off.
Yeah. Mr. Sir, I have a second question.
Yeah,
we talked a lot about the education and the students. So what are your views about the new education policy which has been introduced?
Well, new education policy, I find it is pretty okay, good. But I feel that some more autonomy should be given to on the creative side.
Oh, okay.
I think somewhere down, creativity should not at any point of time should not be compromised, because that's why I said you should let the students think and
choose the subjects.
Choose the subject. And moreover, I am not very much in favor of objective type of examinations. I would prefer a rather descriptive, because that's where you
explore things, you open your imaginations and you observe things.
You're absolutely true. You're absolutely right.
Totally agree, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rishi Manik Das. He's an assistant professor from Chhattisgarh.
Oh, great. Good.
He has got a lot of interest in taking home all the outcomes of this FDP.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Hari sir.
Hi. And now we have another hand. Hello.
Mr. Alok.
Yeah.
Mr. Alok, please unmute yourself.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, hello.
My question is, as we all know, media has a great influence on the public or the citizens. But as we are observing that media is running their agenda or they are not following the media ethics. So I want to know what is media ethics in television media, as people are suing media and Supreme Court is also telling to follow ethics. So I want to know media ethics.
Well, there is a code of ethics in media. I would say the trend is not right. If you ask me, the trend, at least in electronic media, print media is still okay. I don't find much of fault in print media. But electronic media, the trend, it is not right. But I would again say it is only a trend. The best will survive. We are yet to see the good days. The phase that we are right now seeing is, even I am also not happy with it. Because I'll tell you one thing, what is the role of a journalist? The role of a journalist is only to give the information. Talk about facts. I'm going to place my facts in front of you. You decide what is good, what is bad. I am not supposed to shape your opinion. That is the simple, thumb rule of journalism. A journalist is supposed to give the facts. It is for the readers or the viewers or the listeners to have a perspective and develop his or her opinion. I am not supposed to influence your opinion in any way, which is happening today. But again, I say, as I said, it's a trend. Like fashion is a trend. This trend will, I'm sure, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, it's going to vanish one day, and the good form of journalism will come. Because we had a very glorious year of journalism, right from our freedom struggle when the press was nationalist press. You must be knowing that every freedom fighter, whether it is Gandhi, Nehru, Shastri, or Lokmanya Tilak, or Prakasam Garu, every freedom fighter by heart was a journalist. Every freedom fighter did maintain a newspaper. Because as I said, mass media gives information to people. They thought that, through media, the print media or mass media, we are going to inform the people of the country what is happening, what is wrong. Why we need to push the colonial rule away and gain our freedom. That was the agenda that British India followed before independence. Post-independence, till 1975, media was one of the best media in the entire globe. After that also, but post-liberalization, things started changing. The media, the newspaper sector became a media industry, and once it becomes an industry, its colors changed, and now what the trend is, what you say is absolutely, I agree with you. But there are good media houses still. As you say, as you know, in every sector there is good and bad. You take in education sectors, you have good people, bad people. You have good teachers, bad teachers, good students, bad. You take in police, you take in the administration, everywhere. You take in political, take in judiciary, everywhere there now good and bad is divided there. So that I would say it's something like that in happening in media, but the good will always prevail. Hello. Okay. Have I got your question, please?
Yeah, Alok sir, are you there? All right. Anyway, now.
Yes, sir, I was muted. Yes, sir. Thank you for the information. It was...
Yeah.
And one more hand. We have Balaji Pujari. Are you there, sir?
Sir, yes, sir.
You can ask a question.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Actually,
Morning.
you are the first journalist who I was interacted with and listened to this much of time. And my question is, you have written many articles till now, I think so.
Yeah.
Which article made you much happier and which article made you felt sad, sir?
Which article made me happy? Which article made me feel sad?
Yes, sir.
See, any article where a person is benefited, or a society is benefited, or a village is benefited, or a community is benefited, I always felt happy. Suppose somewhere a drainage is overflowing and the residents of that area is suffering. And if I write an article and the drainage is rectified by the corporation and the people breathe good air, I always felt happy. Because that is my job, I'm able to do something for them. At the end of the day, I should feel happy that, my life has not gone waste, my 2 days has not gone waste. I have done something for the people. That's my role. I am supposed to, alert the authorities concerned that this is there, this is happening, this is not correct, this is what you should do. If they do it, I'm happy. Well, sad, I would not say my article written as sad, which I felt sad because I will feel sad if I have done something wrong. Like I wrote an article and somebody got jailed or somebody got, punished or somebody got something like that. But I have written many articles, sad stories. I found women being trafficked. I found a child being trafficked. I found a minor being raped. I found a father being killed by son. So, these, whenever I end of the day, because I handle the crime beat. So whenever I write an article, such thing, I feel, somewhere, though, like all journalists, we wait for crime news to come because that's what people read the most. But I always feel sad that if something wrong has happened to somebody. So somewhere end of the day, every day I feel sad, well, at least once a day. Like yesterday, 2 minors were sexually assaulted in Vizag. I felt sad for them. So something like that. Balaji, have you got me? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Balaji. I think Balaji must have got it.
Yeah.
I love to read one of this kind of an articles that Sumit always writes, and it is even on our name. We are champions of the Hindu weakness.
Yeah. Like 2014, huh? 2014.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
2014, and
Great,
after
great.
that we emerged as permanent winners, and we
Great,
really
great.
enjoyed the sweetness of winning.
Those were the glorious days.
in fact, most of the students.
No, we will revive again, Hari. Huh? With your cooperation,
Yes.
we'll revive again.
Why not? We can carry it out. And in the fold, there are many other teachers, almost 100, 125 teachers are there in this fold. They're also very much interested in knowing much about the Hindus Education Plus Club Challenge, and we can carry it out.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
And we also have more hands. Ma'am Usha, you can talk to, sir.
Usha Jampana.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Good morning, Sumit sir.
Morning.
I remember you. I worked with you. I am so excited to see you back again and listen to you. I worked with you for the E Plus Club challenges and all. When I was in Miracle, I was in Miracle.
Yes,
I was working
yes,
in
correct.
Miracle.
I got you. Yeah. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited to listen to you and you about the holistic education and all. My question is, sir, nowadays we see that you also mentioned about it. The habit of reading in the students is completely going down. And you told us yes, there's a generation of people who love smelling the book and reading it.
Yes.
They don't like reading it digitally or something like that. But we find that coming like too low. Like people are not at all excited in reading something. So what do you think we can do?
That's where we teachers should play a role.
Yes, sir.
See, I'll tell you one thing. You cannot. It's difficult for you, Ushaji, to tell a third-year student to start reading.
Yes.
Yeah, he will not listen to you. Maybe, probably, may listen, but we can try. I think the reading habit should be inculcated in the school.
That's true.
You should make it exciting. That's what I said. You should give the book and not tell him just read it. You should do an activity. you should make him like when we feed our younger children, we do some activities to see that they are encouraged to eat it.
Yes.
So something like that, this encouragement, like for me and you, Ushaji, or for Hari, maybe that our reading habit started way back in school, not in college. I'm sure.
Yes. Mm.
So I still remember under the teacher mathematics teacher used to teach the class, and we used to read the book under the desk, the storybook. In those days, Enid Blyton, Hardy Boys, those were the days. Sherlock Holmes, these were the books that we used to read. Ruskin Bond. Okay, so that's how we were engrossed to reading.
Yes.
So and what was the if I read a book, then immediately it's a competition with my fellow classmate. I have finished this book. Have you finished it? So we used to exchange. See, this reading habit, or the book, forming a book club, forming a discussion, discussing on the author, giving them interesting books, should start from the school. Once it develops, because of the school, I just show you that pan my camera. You see, this is my room, and it's filled with books.
Yes, sir.
It is still, my reading habit has not gone.
Yes.
I still read. So, but even you can make a try in your college. I don't say that people from engineering will not read, or people in graduate not read. But anyway, that's up to us to teach us to inculcate that habit.
Yes.
Do something innovative, which they will. Maybe you can just tell him or her, you read this book, and why don't you write a piece on it?
Yes.
Why don't you write a review on the book?
Yes.
So he or she will be bound to read the book. If they're interested, they will write a review. So that's how some innovative activity should be taken up to inculcate the habit of reading.
Yes. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome.
Still, there are no hands. Any chat manager? Anything else in the chat box too? Ramana sir or Mahalakshmi ma'am on the chat.
I didn't get any questions from your college, Hari.
That's what I was surprised. And they are engrossed, listening to you and then enjoying all the pleasure from Sumit.
You asked
always,
me a question.
Always a pleasure company with you. What else I can ask you in form of a question?
Sir, in the chat box, there's a reflection and a question. I totally agree that students these days lack perspective on any given topic or prevailing situation. But anything I say is still a part of the problem. What can be a solution for this? Hindu NIE is a good initiative. Maybe a paper that caters to college-going students, covering all aspects like politics, sports, science and technology, language, etc., might be helpful. You take on this. Having said this, can we tell students to go by whatever is written in the papers?
Can we tell the students to go
by whatever is written in the papers?
Yeah, I mean, I would tell that, see, there's a good point suggested that, because college students are more matured, so I feel that Hindu alone should be enough. We need not have a special edition. But school students, since I said they're formative days, they are little naughty people. So, try to make it more interesting. But anyway, the suggestion is well taken. There's something to, for college students, if you have a separate edition, I'll take it up with my management.
It's put forward by Padmaja Behera, sir.
And whatever is taken in the newspaper, I would tell you again, Padmaja madam, that go by the most authentic newspaper, authentic news channel. See, today the newspaper, today the media is a shopping mall. Because you open the television, you have some 1,000 to 100 channels. That different, of course, some are specialized channels, animal channels, some are geographic, some are history, some are, go by the reputation of the channel. No reputed media house, whether it is a newspaper or electronic channel, will dare to give you misinformation. Because that is what the media houses or the management of the, I'm not talking of all. I'm telling you, I'm not taking names. It's not fair on part of me to take names, but go by the channels or media or newspapers that have stood up with the reputation. Like Hindu's 145-year-old newspaper, unscathed, what do you call, a black spot in its entire history. So go. I'm not propagating my newspaper, but go by the newspapers and the channel that has a reputation. Because obviously, when you buy tea, you have been you when you go to the market and buy tea, you must be loyal to a brand. So brand loyalty, brand building, and go by the reputed brand that has weathered the storm all these years. Go buy it. You can buy it. You can buy what news they give, because I'm sure they would have done that research or they would have done that hard work. And the journalists are educated enough or well-mannered enough to give you the right news. Padmaji, have I satisfied your question?
Of course, sir. A very good morning, Sumit, sir. In fact, today is a beautiful morning, thanks to your session, because the day started on a wonderful note.
Thank you so much.
And I'm a staunch Hinduite myself. I've been reading the paper ever since I remember reading newspapers. But being a teacher, since I cannot advocate one newspaper, I do the same thing in the class. I generally make the students get exposed to 2 to 3 different papers and analyze themselves. Like sometimes, I've noticed that some of the articles are posted on the front page in Hindu, while the same article is somewhere in the second or third page in another newspaper. So vice versa. So I tell the students to analyze and get to their own conclusions rather than jump by whatever is being fed to them through the media. I don't know whether it's right.
That is very right, because they should have the analysis. They should be able to analyze why this news has come in the front page in the Hindu and come in the third page in the other newspaper. That's where the perspective develops.
Yes.
So we used to do it in Hari. If you remember doing it, we used to do it in our E+. We used to tell them, analyze why it has come in the front page, why it has come in the back page, why it has come in the third page. Analyze and tell me. That will develop the understanding that this is what is the importance of the news, how relevant it is to the people of the readers. So these things that, and what is the philosophy of the media house?
Correct, exactly.
Okay. Because I will tell you one small thing on this aspect. In Hindu had a philosophy that we don't carry any. Now we do it, of course, any death report in the front page, because we believe the reader should open the newspaper with a cup of coffee in a pleasant way. He or she should read pleasant things. Okay. So we didn't even carry Gandhiji's assassination in the front page in those days. Have you got me? Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is the philosophy. But now it has changed a bit. Now we carry, because now with the things have changed. But these are things that, you will never find a Gauri, like other newspaper, a dead body's picture in Hindu anytime. We don't carry. Because that's gruesome. Gauri, people may not like it. We want people to be present. As you said, today is a pleasant morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, may I continue actually?
Yeah, sure.
You were telling about students lacking perspective and how to develop that. And and you're again right when you said that when we ask students how many of them come after reading a paper, hardly 1 or 2 hands, and that too after continuous nagging. But these days kids are more into Google cards. So on their commute to the college, they end up reading the Google cards, because inevitably I end up asking in the class. So, but these Google cards again are not so trustworthy. They feed what the student wants to be fed on. So, can there be an alternative to this?
No, I will tell you. I would tell flow of information through any media is okay for me.
Okay.
But you must make them realize one thing. You must prove to them that when a particular thing that, see, what you're reading is not right. If the news is authentic, see, finally think that your perspective can develop only on authentic news.
Right.
See, if you have a wrong news, you will have a wrong perspective.
Exactly.
So you should make them realize with an example then what you're reading is not right. The channel that you're following, I mean channel of flow of information what you're following is not giving you the right information. So unless you have the right information, you will have like today, if you, whatever subject you teach, if you teach them the wrong formulas, the wrong concept, they will develop the wrong frame of mind, isn't it? They will have the wrong concept. So same thing, you should be able to prove them with an example. See, this is the newspaper report that has come. This is what you have read. What you have read, what perspective you have developed after reading this, and what perspective you develop after reading this. So the two perspectives will be different because the two news points are different, or two news informations are different. So you develop the perspective with good information. So you must be able to convince them that the information that is flowing to you is not the right information. So that I think we teachers need to take the responsibility now.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sumit sir. Thank you, Hari sir.
Thank you, Padmaja ma'am. Padmaja ma'am is a serious teacher and then takes up the responsibility now on behalf of all our participants. No doubt she is also interested in taking forward this as one of the outcomes. As
Very
Sumit,
good, very good.
Yeah, as
where is
Sumit
Padmaja
asked,
ma'am teaching?
Madam?
Madam, where is she teaching? Which college?
I believe she is from Hyderabad.
Oh, okay, great, great. Okay. Yeah, tell me, Hari.
One more hand. Meanwhile, there is a poll going on your session only.
Yeah,
you have a habit of reading newspaper daily. Which column you prefer to follow the newspaper? And there are multiple choices, and then there are multiple questions. Meanwhile, we have one more hand. Srinivas Babu, sir. Sir, you can talk to.
Very good morning, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, audible, sir. Tell me.
Sir, actually, I missed your presentation. Only at the end of the presentation, I joined, and even though I expected something from your presentation, because I'm the vice principal of Gayatri College of Science and Management, just I attended the examination duty and I joined here.
Oh, okay.
But my reflection is, so I'm very happy to mention one thing. We made it compulsory to all the students through motivation, and they have to subscribe any one of the newspapers, and the very beginning of the class somebody has to present something regarding analysis, all these things. As far as your information presentation is concerned, within these 15 to 20 minutes I received something from that, and today even what I feel that even how many of the teachers go through the newspapers is a question mark today, because some of the students they want to follow the teachers also, because sometimes they may raise some questions. Sir, have you gone through this article? So I analyzed it like this, I wrote so and so. So they posted their analysis also. What I can say that so mass media and communication, and you have mentioned certain things. There is a comparison between olden days and present days regarding news presentation and drafting, all these things. I have found a lot of difference. I have been the reader of Hindu newspaper for the last 20 years. I found a lot of difference from that point to this point. But we don't want to simply make it compulsory to read a particular paper. What you have mentioned, right? Simply we have to give a flexibility to the student. Nowadays, how many students come forward? That is the question mark today. Because we should be the facilitators. What I feel that so make them to participate, and they have to simply give their deliberations in their own way. And whatever may be the mistakes, whatever may be the things, if there is no question of finding any construction or something like that, and Padmaja madam shared very well, she shared the things very nicely. I too like that inculcate these things for this particular purpose. But one thing, sir, whether it is right or wrong, I don't know. I simply habituate my students to go through editorial. Some taken language barriers are there. How can we avoid? In which way we have to make them to understand the things, especially editorial part of the newspaper. It is the key part of the newspaper. What we can say that. So please suggest something. Is there any easy method to go through it and understand the content of editorial?
Sir, I would tell you one thing. Making children read the editorial to begin with, maybe a little difficult, because editorial is little in depth. So what I would suggest is, before you tell them to read, like let's take an editorial on Chinese issue, okay?
Oh, yes, sir.
You should make them read little bit from the net, because the newspaper may not be available. What is this Chinese issue? Some background should be given, or you personally tell them. Instead of making them read, you take a class for half an hour and tell them what exactly is this Chinese issue. 62, what happened, why it happened, huh? And then subsequently this Ladakh, Arunachal Pradesh, Leh, all these issues. Then the India, China-Pakistan corridor, the bone of contention. Huh? Just give them a brief perspective that what is Indo-China relationship, Dalai Lama. So then they will understand that why if you suddenly tell them to read today's editorial and not saying that why China is unhappy with India because it has done why it has done, what is unless they have a background on it, they won't be able to grasp that. That is the major, because English part, I don't think there is hard English written in editorial. If there is a few words, they can refer to the dictionary. That is not an issue. That's good also. 1 or 2 words they can learn more. But to jump into the editorial, they will not understand unless they have a background. So for understanding anything, you need some background. So I think, but as you said, most of the teachers do not read. I mean, how many other teachers read newspaper? You have your own doubts, you explain. That is a fact. So that would also inculcate the newspaper habit reading among the teachers. Okay. So before talking of China, before talking of the Farm Bill, before talking of the newspaper education policy editorials, or before talking of the separation of Andhra state, let them have a background. Let them have a background in 67, 69, the Jaya Andhra, 70 Jaya Andhra movement. Before that, the Telangana movement, what was there in 50s. Let them have an understanding of that. 5-10 minutes, just tell them this is what happened in 50s. This happened because Telangana wanted to be separate. The gentleman's agreement, what happened. Brief understanding, and then let them read. I'm sure they will enjoy reading it and they will understand better the editorial. Have I got you, Mr.
Thank you,
Babu?
sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes, Hari.
All right. Sumit, I think it is 10:50.
Okay.
We have come to almost a fag end. We also have. Am I audible for all of you?
Yeah. You are very much. Hari?
Sir, you are
Hello,
audible,
Sumit.
sir.
Is it audible from my side?
Yeah,
You're
yes,
audible,
audible. Very much audible.
All right, Sumit.
Yeah, it's audible, Hari. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. In fact, we have come to an end, almost 10:50 now. By 11 o'clock, we have one more session. Before that, we also have a thank note that is to be given to Srinivas Babu. Madam Padmaja is from Vignan Institute of Vizag only.
Okay.
And thanks to Ahmed, and then we also have others who have effectively interacted with Sumit sir. Almost, since morning around 2.5 hours, he's ready, and then for 1 hour he spoke, and after that he also has a lot of interaction with all of us. You made so clear everything about mediocrity in education. Some of the students joined off late and understood the need of the hour, how teachers are also getting ready for presenting or for putting this as a new option into the classroom again as a new education policy. I well remember in the document page number 53 when it was talking about medium of instruction and the stress that is coming up because of the medium of instruction today. It also has demanded so well how to educate students in understanding language not as a barrier, only through newspaper it has highlighted. You also have gone in line with that expectation of that new education policy document. Thank you so much, Sumit. for all your time, energy, and then even after you look old, but you are very young and dynamic after your talk, we have understood your energies. And then we go forward with the same spirit.
Only my hair has gone gray. I'm not old.
That's what. We felt like, okay, are we looking at Sumit sir or somebody else? Just because of this gray hair. But anyway, you are now a gray-haired gentleman for us as a resource forever, a resourceful personality forever.
Thank you so much.
Before we are ending, Paul will talk about the poll that he has conducted, especially on the newspaper reading.
Okay.
Paul sir, are you ready?
Yes, sir, I'm sharing the results.
Yes.
You can see them on the screen, sir.
Okay. Hope Sumit is also able to see.
Yeah, I'm able to see.
Do you have a habit of reading newspaper daily? And 64% say yes. Which column you prefer to follow in the newspaper? So 80% read headlines, and then sports takes the second place, and movies, and then the editorial. Have you ever followed the Education Plus column in the Hindu newspaper? 52% say yes. Where do you consume your news from? 51% say television, and 44% say newspaper, and 4% from magazines, and 1% from radio. When do you typically access the news? 57% say first thing in the morning, and 19% say late in the evening, and 16% last thing at night, and 5% in the afternoon, and 4% never.
This poll is for teachers or students?
Both, sir.
Okay.
Happy to even see the analysis at the end.
Fine, very good. Excellent.
This is one such kind of interesting initiatives which was demanded by our participants in their pre-FDP survey. When we have conducted, they have even left before us to understand how effectively that they can take it away from these sessions. This is one interesting takeaway. Thanks for your time, Sumit. And
welcome.
I also request you to be with us if you have time in days to come. Other 3 days, we are also going ahead with other interesting point of discussion. We also have what you call resource persons from overseas too. One from USA is talking, Sridi Basakela. And then we also have Sashi Bandhu. He's us talking from KSA.
Okay.
And followed by you, we have Ali Reja from Iran speaking up now. And we have an assistant professor from IIT Bhilai also is addressing shortly, day after tomorrow or tomorrow. Thanks for your time or a very enriching lecture that you have made. This is one of the best moments for me also.
Thank you, Hari. Thank you.
I'm excited, and I'm always happy to be with you forever in taking forward whatever special initiatives that Hindu and then the media or you initiate. We'll go forward well with one another. With a big thank note, and I think chat manager also leaves us. Is there anything to talk or is there anything to say from the chat box?
People have been appreciating the session, and they've been thanking Sumit sir for the informative session.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Always a pleasure to be. Always a pleasure to be with you, LENDI group, and your team, Hari. Thank you so much, and I thank all the participants, and I wish them a very good career ahead.
Thank you so much, and we'll be looking forward you to see in the sessions, and then you may take rest now for a while and then come back. It is quickly 5 minutes break 5 to 6 minutes break before the next speaker gets ready. Until then, the line is open. Those who wanted to just take a cup of coffee or take a natural call, you can be free. And then within other 6 minutes, by 11:05, we'll be ready with the session. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye,
I can
Sumit.
close? Yeah, fine. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.